Everyone loves a good yarn. Stories remind us of our past. They can make you laugh, they can bring people together, and they can inspire us. The best stories champion the little guy, the battler, the cheeky one who dared to challenge the big boys to emerge humble but victorious. Mort Co is one of those stories. Like all good stories, there is a proud history. Now this isn't the stuff of fairy tales or heroes, but rather of a hard-working and resourceful pioneer, Thomas Sutcliffe Mort, who migrated to Australia in the 1800s. From humble beginnings, he went on to develop one of the leading pastoral and agricultural broking houses in Australia, as well as being a pioneer in the development of international freight of Australian beef to Europe. Fast forward 120 years and Mort Co was revitalised by Thomas's descendant, Charlie Mort. Now, cracking stories need good characters, and if there's one word to describe Charlie, it's character. From jackaroo beginnings, he worked his way up through the agency ranks. However, Charlie had bigger aspirations, and in 1997, Mort Co was reborn. He quickly got to work identifying areas with productive farmland and strong communities in which to build his business. He then added feedlots in Queensland, including Australia's most modern and innovative feedlot, Grassdale. Charlie knew he had to integrate his supply chain. He knew they'd have to be farmers, transporters, graziers, grain traders, beef processors, marketers, and logistical experts if they were going to fulfil his vision of consistently delivering the best quality beef in the country. He knew using every resource available was crucial to ensure not a cent was left on the table that could be saved or leveraged. Ingrained in his company's DNA would have to be a strong appreciation for the environment and a deep understanding that it needed to be cared for future generations. He also knew there'd be struggles along the way. This was a certainty. But he recognised if Mort Co was to thrive and challenge the big guys, then he'd have to do things a little differently. He acknowledged that if they wanted to be Australia's lot feeding specialist, they'd have to leverage every good idea anyone had ever had in the industry and then innovate the hell out of it. He'd have to build relationships throughout the entire supply chain, not fair weather relationships, strong relationships where your word is your bond. A handshake is always a deal, and the bills are always paid on time, every time, no exceptions. The company would be built around its people with attention to foster a culture that allowed staff the flexibility to dream and challenge paradigms. The business would have to be filled with good people who knew that nothing great comes without hard work. Livestock businesses don't sleep and there aren't any quiet days. It doesn't matter if it's 45 or -5, we get out of bed and do what we love. Efficiencies and economies of scale would be crucial. They'd have to be big enough to matter, but small enough to care. They'd have to be highly analytical, but nimble enough in their decision making to capture opportunities as they presented. They'd need to maintain an intense focus on doing 1,000 small things 100% right every time. They needed to understand their customers' business as much as their own, providing a niche service that met changing and diverse consumer requirements would cement their place as the preferred supplier of choice. Above all, they'd have to be Australian farmers working with Australian farmers, producing premium beef to feed the world. This is our boardroom. This is our suit and tie. This is our core product. This is our daily commute. And this is our currency. So how does this story end? Well, it doesn't. Mort Co is constantly writing the next exciting and ever-evolving chapter. That's what modern-day pioneers do.